real estate agent at Caldwell Banker. And one thing that I have been getting a lot of questions on is how much money should you have when you are purchasing a house. I'm gonna do this like a couple different ways, but I say always err on the side of having too much money, of course, because you never know what's gonna happen after the closing, if you're gonna need it to replace anything after you sign the title over and everything else. That is your responsibility. There are things that are mandated by law that people have to take care of. However, if your furnace goes out, it's your furnace. If your water heater goes out, it's your water heater. And you can't go back to the previous owner because then what that looks like is that you didn't do your due diligence, your inspector didn't tell you what was going on, so on and so forth. And I know we try to get some people, not me, but some people try to get around different aspects just to get the deal closed. Sometimes that's not the best advice. You know, I always say get an inspector. You know, if you can, get a copy of the appraisal. See if those big ticket items, roof, water heater, furnace, plumbing, electricity, especially if it's an older house. Make sure that all those things are working because it's yours. After you pay for it, it's yours. It's kind of like a car. After you pay for it, it's yours. But I'm going to tell you what my grandmother told me, and that is that you pretty much always need at least $10,000 worth of savings at all times. 10,000 is like this magic number for my grandmother's generation. I love it. It can get you anywhere. If you have to leave, if you have to relocate, $10,000 is like a base sum that every person should have worth of savings. That was what she told me. And I will give you some stuff I need to just like unpack really fast because we're on this journey together. Don't think that I'm not heeding all of my grandmother's words now that she has passed. Excuse me. But I am. I'm like, now I feel like I have to grow up because she's not there to coach me through a lot of things. And there's just a lot of things that I wish I would have taken advantage of while she was here. This is one of those really big things that I wish I could have said, hey, Grandma, I have my savings. So instead of dwelling on what we don't have because we were not taught this or a lot of people feel guilty even about having money and somebody else is suffering. However, if anything happens, like $10,000 can buy you a car, you'll still have change, can get your car fixed. If you, like I said, if you need to relocate, if you are putting down a down payment on a house, $10,000 is a good starting point. That's not even like your maximum. That should be your minimum. That should be your minimum. I heard another person say, first get the first 1,000 that you can have right then, and then work on your $10,000 savings. It's, you know, it's one of those things that keeps reoccurring, because $10,000 is a very good starting point. It's a good jumping off point if you want to invest, if you want to do anything. So I did some math for us today, gold diggers. Yes, I did. $10,000, if you want to get that in 365 days, you need to save $28 a day, every day of your life. Every day for the next 365 days, you will have $10,000. You'll have a little bit over $10,000 for all you mathematicians, but let's just, cut it off at the $28 a day. 365 days. So that means if you get paid $100 a day, you need to save $28. Can you live off of the other $72 a day? Absolutely. Might have to, cut out some things that you feel are important at this point, but are really not. You can definitely do it. So, with that being said, a lot of people don't work 365 days a year. Of course not. We work 5 days a week, which it ends up being 260 days out of the year. So if you take 2 days off a week for the next year and you make $100 a day, you need to put that back $38.50 a day, every single day. Work week, you calculate that. Had those calculations and they got wet. My dog ate them. I don't know what happened to them. But here is like this super jump off point that nobody ever talks about. Like if I make $38, if I can hold on to $38.50 a day that I went to work and I worked for, at the end of the year, I can have $10,000 in savings. All right, so Tila, I'm doing that. What do I do now? Well, there's this wonderful little site called Acorn, which creates a portfolio for you if you don't want to do it through your job. It is stock market portfolio, so it does go up and down. Wait, let me stop right there. I am not a financial advisor, but here is like a safe way to ensure that you are doing what you're supposed to do, especially if you are self-employed like I am. And the money comes in and it's easy to be like, oh, I have $60, I have $100, I need this. It's right now. So instead of doing that, I put it in the bank. I set up my Acorn and I'm able to save daily. And then I have it set up to where every time I use my card, it brings some money out as well, puts it in a nice portfolio for me. Because the stocks have been kind of crazy because of the health issues that are in the world right now. Stocks have been have dipped a little bit, but it's still a good place and a good resource because what goes down must come up, what goes up must come down. So I would say take a look at that. I will have a link in the description. And then the other thing is a bank account. So I use Chase, and the reason that I use Chase, and everybody, I've already said this, is because Chase has like a credit journey. It tracks what you spend daily. It tracks how much you spend weekly. It tracks how much you deposit, and that's right on the app. I will also leave that link in the description. But you need a bank account. You need to have a bank account. You have to. You are a grown person or almost grown, and you need to keep that account in the positive. Like that's not a credit card that you don't. If you misuse your debit card, that is literally the money that you have worked for. Credit is somebody giving you something so that you can pay off their interest and pay them money to borrow that money. So here is you being responsible for your own money. So first, bank account. Savings account is awesome also, especially if your bank offers a high interest rate. And Chase does have a really good savings program. You do have a minimum that you have to address before you can use their high yield savings account, but they do have a basic savings account until you get there. Just there's all kind of different alternatives, ladies and gentlemen, to where you can put your money to save it. But here is the thing. It's your money. So at any point, you can pull it out. If you pull it out, you now are like on day one. If you have $5,000 in your acorn and all of a sudden you use $50,000 of it, half of it, 50% of it, now you are starting again. You're starting over. You know what I'm saying? And it's just going to take more time. And don't get me wrong, I know things happen. Like I said, I'm on this journey with you. So has there been times when I've looked at my savings and been like, ooh, yeah, my clutch went out. I have to do other things now. I have to move this stuff around. Absolutely. But that's why it's there, first of all, it's like my rainy day fund-ish. But at the same time, I need to replenish that. So now I have to work harder to get back where I was before. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to encourage everybody. This was my whole point of this video, is $10,000 as your base. $10,000 as your base savings. That is your emergency fund. That is the fund. That's your go-to fund. That's not your vacation fund. That's not for necessities. That's not what you dip into when you want to go to McDonald's. McDonald's is not an emergency. I want you a fast food, period. It's not an emergency, you know what I'm saying? Grocery shopping, like budget it out to where it makes sense to you. And if it takes you longer than a year to get the 10,000, that's fine too. But I just wanted to shed some light that $38.50 is not a lot of money, especially because most of the time we spend that and more daily on things we don't even need. And then when an emergency arises, the money's not there. So, just a little side note, because I had to do this math for myself. I had to do this math for myself. Oh my gosh. If you want to make $1 million this year, you have to make $114.16 an hour every hour for 365 days. I know a lot of people with a lot of skills. If you only want to work an 8-hour work week, that's $342.47 an hour. Not a day, an hour. So when like I said, that was just me being random and seeing can I get to $1 million in a year? Absolutely, I can. That is my goal, to actually make $1 million a year. Whew! Big goals, big goals, big goals. But on my vision board, if you can see it there, this year, I want $250,000 after taxes, take-home pay, Tila's money. And I want to build from there because I know, there's some things to do. But I just want you guys to understand, is it possible? Yes. But do we need the skills to support what we're doing to make this type of money? Absolutely. So without further ado, I'm going to end this video because, I will talk about the $1 million journey later. But let's work on $10,000 for this year. Make that your goal, gold diggers. $10,000. If you agree, put 10,000 down in the comments. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for your time. Love you guys. Bye.